Hey there everybody, this is a Doctor, and with me today is Typical Manga Fan, and today we're going to be discussing chapter 775 of One Piece, To Lucy Ann with Love.
Before we even talking about this chapter, I'm going to note, I did not expect this chapter. I did not expect this chapter to be about what it's about.
Yeah.
I did not expect anything from this chapter, and holy shit, Oda even... Look, I'll talk more about this later, but I just can't believe what I read, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, we start off with a nice little color spread here, like everyone's on bikes or motorcycles. Yet just having a good old time riding around.
Yep.
I like how Luffy's has the sunny headpiece on there.
Nami's wearing a shirt for once.
Yep. Then meanwhile, we have Leo and the Tsundere Princess.
Where?
On the next page.
Oh, okay.
Starting in the chapter proper.
Oh, okay.
She's trying to be flirty with him, like asking if she'll give him a piggyback ride, Kira here, but it's like, you're fine, you can walk. And she's like, and plus you can heal yourself anyway. And which just ticks her off. It's like, well, there it is, the mood-swinging princess. I don't remember asking you to come save me. What is that supposed to mean? Of course, it turns out that it's only with Leo that she does this.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. She's not really a tsundere, because I think she is a nice person. I think Leo just pisses her off. Like, in a way.
That's kind of what tsundere does in some degree.
But tsundere, the reason why I say that is because tsunderes are normally bitches to other people as well. If you actually think about it, you know.
I don't know. I think TV Tropes remarks as what's called a type B, where it's like they're normally sweet, but certain people will set them off.
Okay, then yeah, sure.
It's like a second type of it. But anyway, like I said, they're fine.
Do you blame her though? I mean, what he says to her? I mean, I get pissed too.
I think there's a bit of a vicious cycle thing going there. Like
you don't call a girl fat. You don't do that.
Well, it's like she gets pissed off at him, he gets pissed off at her, so he doesn't care about what he says around her, and it just keeps her off more. Like I said, I think we've got a bit of a vicious cycle going.
Sounds like they're already married.
Yeah, well, vicious cycle. Anyway, oh, hang on, I just realized, on the next page we see Jola laying down thinking, and a man in the door.
Oh! Point that out. Put that in the caption as a caption or something.
I'll see if I can maybe put the picture or something in there. Anyway,
yeah,
we got Jola. She's down and out, and apparently Doflamingo had big plans for the healing fruit, including an ultimate technique which sounds like it's similar to what the Pop-Pop fruit can do, like a restoration power granted at the cost of one's lifespan.
The fact that they even mentioned it means it's going to come into play somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
Maybe someone.
It sounds like Doflamingo's been preparing for like possibly his own death or like as some kind of other option here, because he's trying to get Law's power to become immortal. He's got her power to for restoration. One thing that does seem kind of odd here, though, is that according to Jolas, he was planning to use it if something happened to the Smile Factory. But earlier they said that the healing fruit only worked on living things.
Well, we don't know. We don't really know anything. Maybe does he have a sickness or?
Well, Doflamingo maybe. I don't know. But But she was saying that it was being in case of something happened to the Smile Factory, which actually made me wonder if Pika assimilated with the factory and then they healed Pika, would that heal the factory?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway,
she realizes the factory's in danger now that they no longer have Mancheri. So we're back to the factory now, where Senor Pink and Frankie are continuing their fight. They pretty much just been trading blows back and forth here. Like Frankie's been hitting him with strong hammers. Senor Pink's been hitting him with suplexes. And apparently they've done this like 30 times back and forth.
Yep.
And like the dwarves are telling them to like do something about it or dodge it or something. It's like at this point it's turning like a thing of honor between the two of them. So Frankie's not gonna just dodge or resist the attacks. He's gonna take them head on and do the same. Take them head on and until he comes up on top. That's his strong style.
Okay, I'm constantly being distracted by the girls. Like, don't they realize that they're cheering for a guy who's on the wrong side? Don't they realize that?
I think that's why they're cheering for him.
Because he's on the wrong side.
The whole bad boy thing.
I mean, chances are their parents or their brother or their daughters or sons probably got killed by one of these guys. I mean, come on.
Quite possibly, but bad boy.
Anyway,
I
kind of feel like I don't like that female I know it's for the joke, but I just don't
Yeah.
like it, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, we got the Tentada cheering for Frankie.
Yep.
He promises that he's gonna win, but Senor Pink says he's gonna hold Frankie to his word and give him the biggest attack he can.
Yep. And they're talking about what, you know, men stuff and all that.
Yeah.
And come out, he's gonna say, that's my strong style, blah, blah, blah. He's basically saying, this is why I'm a man.
Yes.
And everyone's just like sweating and just be like, holy shit, you know, these guys are fighting it out. This is a duel between men. And then, you know, people are happy that, you know, he's saying, yeah, I'm not gonna let you guys become slaves again, blah, blah, blah. I remember your words. And yeah, I mean, they're just, yeah, right now, they're just like talking. Oh, and then Xi Jinping is like, you know, you take all my punches, no questions asked.
He's gonna hold Frankie to his word and throw out his biggest, baddest attack and let Frankie see if. And he even says that if Frankie can take this, he wins, basically, because this is the biggest, baddest move he's got.
Yep.
So he grabs Frankie, like uses his swimming powers, go all the way up to the top of the biggest tower around there. They get high in the air. While they're in the air, Senor Pink points out. Oh, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Well,
Let's see.
Yeah, Senor Pink's looking at the sky. It's like, sky's sadder today than I'd like. But if only I could keep going like this, I'd be able to see her. My Lucienne and my son Gimlet, too.
The frick? And everyone's like, what? This is where we all like, what?
But gravity comes between us. And Frankie's wondering what he's talking about. At which point Frankie realizes, at which point Senor Pink points out that he's been aware that Frankie's back is still flesh and blood. Like he still hasn't managed to get that part taken care of.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know he can't reach there, but I mean... Well, I mean, it's probably... He probably doesn't want to replace what's still human of him.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he matters that much to him, but at the same time, it's like, it's still... I think it's partly a gag more than anything. But at this point, from that high up, Senor Pink launches the biggest suplex he can on Frankie.
Baby Buster.
Yep. And he comes back up.
Yeah.
It's like...
And the fact he says, forgive me, young master, means he's lost.
Yeah,
because Frankie's still standing.
Or at least he's able to get up after that. In fact, he's even got a bit of a Terminator thing going in his eye as he gets up.
Yeah, so he's screwed because he has nothing left in the can.
Yep.
In the tank. So.
At that point, Frankie pulls off a Gatling gun of his own. Frankie Iron Boxing just punches him out. Still,
and then
props to Senor Pink. He's taking that with his arms crossed and just taking it.
Okay, so now for the big story.
Yeah, I'll let you take this part.
All right, so he goes back into his memories and thinks about the girl Lucy Ann and about the day he met her and the day she stopped laughing. So it's obviously a tragedy.
Yeah.
So it was started out a day when it was raining, and we see him basically back to what he used to wear. Like a really suit, expensive stuff, and all that.
Schmancy.
Yeah, and he's talking with this one girl and who hates pirates. So he lies to her, saying, "Oh, I'm a banker,"
Yeah.
But she loves rain, so all that. So that's why they bonded, I guess, under the rain, and they got married. And then this is obviously going to be. This has to be after or during.
During his time with Doflamingo, because obviously, like, he's a pirate.
No, Law. I'm talking about Law.
Law. Law.
Because when Law was around, he was still wearing the suit.
True.
So anyway, he's basically they have a kid. And his name is Gimlet, and then and then you could see him basically being piratey, and then Lucy Ann's waiting for him at home, and then when he comes back home with flowers, Gimlet's dead. He died as a kid, as a child.
He just had right when he disappeared. He got a fever that just rose suddenly. Took him to the hospital. But it was like too little, too late.
And then she gets pissed off at him. She realized that she told him that she found out that he wasn't a banker. And then where basically she says how did you get the money, which is obviously from piracy.
Yep.
And then she calls it, and she says, "How can you even call yourself a father?" Because he pretty much left them at that point. I mean, for temporarily.
Yeah.
And she slaps him, and then she leaves and runs away. And then he's just like, "Wait, Lucy Ann, the reason I didn't tell you everything, ...
Yeah.
And then he tries to find her. And then it turns out that she got trapped underneath a landslide, and I guess she lost a lot of oxygen. And then, because that's what happens when you lose brain cells that way. And my gosh, okay, spoiler alert. So to put this out, did Oda collaborate with Akame ga Kill?
I know there is a certain similarity to that, isn't there?
They even kind of draw the eyes the same way too, and
Just kind of like vague and spaced out.
except this one's actually specific.
Yeah.
Vegetative state. So I guess we can assume that that Mine was also in a vegetative state as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving along though, like I said, she's unaware what happens to her, and
spoiler alert has ended. So put that up there.
Yeah.
And then she's in a vegetative state. She's unaware of what happens around her, although she's still I guess she's still conscious. Yeah, she is. I guess that's what being vegetative means, though. I feel she will probably never be able to express emotion outwardly again. As for her life, I am unsure how long it will last. And then he gets really really sad and depressed, and he's like, you know what? If you had never met me, you still ... probably means less smile.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't want to lose her, and that's why he never told her the truth, because she hated pirates. So he thought that if she knew he was a pirate, she would leave him.
Yep.
And this is where it gets really sad.
Yeah, because like I said, desperate to kind of get any kind of response out of her, he just on a whim finds his son's old bonnet and puts it on him, and she actually does smile at that.
Yeah, that was. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. Oh my gosh, this is sad. The fact that he puts it on and he's like, yeah, it wasn't very funny, and then he notices that she's smiling, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna put this on because it's the only way that's gonna keep her smiling.
Yep.
Which means that she's still in there somewhere. This is really sad. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then people are laughing at him because you know what? I mean, wouldn't you laugh at the guy who's wearing a bonnet?
Yeah.
And then
even the other Doflamingo pirates are laughing at him, wondering what got into him.
But they realize that his tragedy, son died.
I don't think. Well, the townspeople where he's from know that, but I don't think the Doflamingos do.
Well, I don't know. But I'm only looking at the one where they're laughing at him, the panel, because someone says, "Don't laugh," and then said, "Damn, that'll suck the sanity right out of a man." Interesting, they use the term "a man,"
Yep.
And
then suck with the pacifier.
So yeah, everyone's laughing at him.
And then we see Diamante. That bottom half is when we see Diamante in trouble. It's
interesting that people have actually noticed that. I mean, I thought people just took that and just like, "Oh, that's him," But I guess someone actually noticed that. So he's still visiting Lucy Ann, and he's like, you know what? This is more valuable to me than any expensive suit. Which is because when I wear these clothes, I can get you to smile for me.
Yep.
I wonder if he actually tries taking it on and off and on and off, see if her smile just goes back down and up and down.
That'd be mean but hilarious.
I know. Oh come on, it's One Piece.
Which is why it probably could happen. But anyway, like Frankie, like Senor Pink is down.
Yeah. I wonder if she's still alive though.
No. It's like Frankie just looks down at him like, what a shame. Just what were you reminiscing about? What's caused you to weep like that, brother? Yeah, you ever cross paths again? Tell me that story over a drink or two. That story of the woman named Lucy Ann.
Holy shit, he's actually getting me on it. Senor Pink actually kind of got me on his side. Just kind of not supporting him in terms of a fight, but supporting him with his life. Like, I kind of wish he would just go home and then find his wife, basically be responsive again.
Yep.
And he's crying. It's kind of sad. And yeah, when the two men feel each other's pain. Glimmet went too soon, and then Frankie is the victor. So that's done with all the fights. But it's really sad because I did not expect it. I thought his bonnet was kind of like. Just for the hell of it, but I guess
just another goofy thing. Yeah, and they set it up with Corazon and Law's flashback too, because you see him in the fancy suits then.
Yeah. I will say this though: tragedy does not equal good writing, but in this case, it was a good story, tragic story. Not because it was tragic, but because the way it was written.
Yes.
I wanted people to notice that it was not because it was a tragedy that was good or why I like it. It's because it was the way it was written, the timing of it, the fact that it was happening while he was getting pummeled to death, basically. Well, not to death, but close to death. And the fact that it was kind of hinted at throughout the arc. The arc, and with his suit, and the fact that the way his personality is.
Yep.
So,
like for example, how even though the women fawned over him, he never really paid them any attention.
Except for stealing that one girl's bikini.
And even then, it wasn't necessarily like controlling her any attention. He just wanted something to wipe his mouth with.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. And of course, it's kind of the girl. His wife wasn't exactly that great looking compared to the other girls.
But I saw some forum threads and stuff point out that Felix looks a lot different than Oda normally draws women.
Yeah. Which means she was probably plain looking.
Yeah. Well, depends on whether or not you like freckles.
Well, even if you take out the freckles, just from the facial features alone, compared to the other girls, it's still not the same. And I think he's trying to make that point of saying Pink, despite being the guy who gets all the women, he went for the girl who he was plain looking because it was about the personality and falling in love, and it's a great character depth, and it really actually made me kind of understand Xenia Pink a bit, and it kind of wanted me for him to come back home, and then see his wife again, and I didn't care for Xenia Pink. I mean, I know he was kind of funny, but I mean those type of characters never really get to me. Yeah. But after reading this chapter, I mean, I like him now. He's jumped a couple places in my favorite categories. Not obviously not as high as Corazon, but still a couple places. But
still, I mean, like I said, Corazon is hard to top, but Senior Pink makes a good, respectable attempt.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the better of this organization here of Doflamingo's people.
Yeah, I said Lao Ji was pretty good too, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the story and Lao Ji.
Yeah. The old man.
I like this guy better. The story's better.
Senior Pink is definitely the best. I like him a lot. Like, Lao Ji's pretty good too. Yeah. I mean, Baby 5 is the only one with a really tragic backstory otherwise.
Yeah, but hers was kind of like quick and kind of. It actually, I felt like it wasn't completed the way I wanted it to be. Yeah, but it's a good story, and I'm just thinking to myself, why can't other mangaka make good stories? Not necessarily tragic, but just in terms of writing, as this good. And Oda is a gem. He is. You're not gonna find this guy that quite often, Yeah. And the guy who's that dedicated and who's that young, compared to the other mangaka that who started out. It's good, and I'm a big fan of this chapter. Although I really do want Lucienne to come back, because I mean, it would kind of suck if I know tragic stories don't always have tragic have the best endings but
what I can see right here is like after all this is done, like Doflamingo pirates are broken up, disbanded, whatever. He goes back, and only after he stops being a pirate does he start responding again, like almost like a karma kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I will say though, what about the heal fruit?
Possibly.
I mean, brain damage is technically. I mean, it is not. I mean, technically, it's physical damage. So
I mean, that could even be maybe something he thought about, but I don't know if it'll ever come up in that context with the other characters.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. I think what you said is great, though. The fact that if he did stop being a pirate and he gives up, she comes back. So yeah, and then One Piece is on a hiatus next week, so there will be no One Piece next week. But there will be, so far as we know, a Bleach and
Mari.
Mari should be out this week too.
Good to know.
And I think that's about it. Maybe Attack on Titan. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Maybe either this week or next week. But yeah, that's what's next. So
I think Attack on Titan will be a little bit, because it hasn't been that long since we did our last review.
No, it hasn't. Yeah. So I think that's about it.
Sounds good there.
Anything else you want to add?
Nope. The only other thing is, like, it seems like one forum post I saw suggested maybe they Oda was starting to turn the joke things into more serious things. Because we have like Baby 5 in our pathology, we have Senior Pink here, mostly played for gags up until this moment, up until the climax. I don't know if they're going to see more of that or not. Like the oddball goofy characters having some kind of hidden tragedy behind their goofiness.
I'm reading the comments, and they're pretty much saying, like, this guy's like, and just like with 2 pages, and just like that, with 2 pages, Oda changed how I think about Senor Pink.
So hard, boiled.
Yeah, manly tears were shed. A love story better than Twilight, as always in One Piece.
Yeah,
reminding me of why I hate Twilight. I mean, I like how everyone always just talks about how bad Twilight is, and it's bad. Okay. I don't care if we lose viewership for this. It's bad.
Well, like I said, I haven't read or seen the Twilight series myself, so I refrain from commenting.
It's bad.
I thought of making random jokes.
It's bad. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it. So everyone just loves his backstory because it's really sad. And seriously, the same week as Akame got killed. Seriously?
I know that the timing of that is pretty weird, huh?
Oh my gosh. Are you sure they're not friends? Like, do they live next to each other or something?
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, you mean Oda and the Akame got killed author?
Yeah.
I doubt it, but still, it's just kind of funny to notice, though.
Yeah.
It's just weird timing on there.
All right. I think that's about it.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, ready to wrap it up then?
All right then. Bye.